saucing asleep, saucing out of it.
This is Semper Not Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio.
It's the saucing asleep, saucing out of it.
G'day, this is Eliza from Down Under, and you're listening to Brew Synth Radio. Woo!
This is Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio. This is also Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio. Y'all hear? This is totally Eliza. This is not Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio.
This is Walter Benjamin, and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio. This is Saucin'.
G'day, this is Eliza from Down Under, and you're listening to Brew Synth Radio. Woo! Woo!
Saucing asleep, saucing out of it.
This is Semper Not Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio.
It's the saucing asleep, saucing out of it.
G'day, this is Eliza from Down Under, and you're listening to Brew Synth Radio. Woo!
This is Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio. This is also Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio. Y'all hear? This is totally Eliza. This is not Saucin', and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio.
This is Walter Benjamin, and you are listening to Brew City Synth Radio. This is Saucin'.
G'day, this is Eliza from Down Under, and you're listening to Brew Synth Radio. Woo!
Hello, what's up, guys? Let me know if the microphone's working. Let me turn the song off. Welcome to Strange Brew episode 2. And it's 4:20 somewhere, so spark 'em if you got 'em, motherfuckers. I'm gonna spark mine real quick. Sorry, I'm a little late. I forgot about daylight savings time. So technically it's 7:30. So I'm not that late. Sound dropped all of a sudden. Hello, mic is on. What? I'm confused. Alright. So, I got some videos lined up here and some shit to talk about, I guess. So last week we left off around like when I was in middle school, when I started listening to like metal music. Like I started listening to Mudvayne and Linkin Park and stuff like that a little bit, and pop punk. I was like super into pop punk and stuff when I was in middle school, like Blink-182 and Sum 41 and shit like that. So I also started listening to a little bit of techno around like 7th grade. I remember my friend brought this mix CD that her brother had, and it was DJ Mike B. I can't really find the dude online. Maybe somebody can, but it was like Miami breakbeat type music, and it was really good, and I liked it. So yeah, I started getting into techno a little bit there. So I thought it'd be fun. I found this interview with the guy, Darude. He made the song Sandstorm. Like, everybody fucking knows Sandstorm. Man, we used to play the shit out of that in high school and, like, driving around, blasting that shit. But yeah, so let's check out this interview with the guy that made Sandstorm.
Ask you a little bit about Sandstorm.
What storm? The track was released in '99, but I actually made that thing about a year and a half or something earlier. It was interesting because I
and welcome
didn't get
interesting
anywhere
stuff.
with the riff
How's
then,
it going?
and it sort of just stayed on my hard drive. And later on, I sort of went through and found it. The only difference is that I distorted it with this software distortion unit. That became the sound that you now hear, like the distorted thing. At that point, then '99, I was inspired to do the whole track. One of the things that made me realize that something amazingly good was happening was when I was invited to play at a party called MTV Ibiza 2000. I just went in the back and I was between Armand van Helden and Underworld. Okay, that was cool for me, but then it was even cooler when I saw the actual poster, like meters and meters and meters tall and wide, and I looked at it and there was Underworld, myself, Armand van Helden, Paul van Dyk, Boy George, Eric Murillo, whoever, on the same poster. And I was thinking, like, now I'm somewhere. That was cool. At first, I didn't understand it. I didn't know what the hell a meme is, really. And if you go to my, there's too many comments, but if you would go to my YouTube channel and go through my comments, I've actually commented a couple of times, like, dude, it's called Darude Sandstorm, like it says in the description. Because I didn't understand what, people were making fun of it. But it took me a while, and after I did sort of start getting clued into it, it was irritating in the beginning because I didn't still understand it while I knew why. And then later on, I sort of started embracing it. Like, it's just been a very sort of good new crowd for me as well. I'm going to give you a sort of a sad story, but still, I'm going to give it. I was in Australia a couple of years ago. I played a big festival in Sydney, and I was approached by some people to meet a big sort of party. This girl's boyfriend had died in a motorbike accident, and his favorite track was Sandstorm. And so I was able to meet these people. They came in a bus. There was about 40 of them. This girl was the organizer of the thing. We had an amazing backstage meet and greet. Amazing in a sense that it was emotional. It was the best thing I could do in that situation, but it wasn't fun. And so I met 40 people who were basically telling their stories. We were all crying. I guess my track experience, had an effect on his life and their life. And so there we are, sharing stories, crying, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, 5 minutes, you're on. And I'm just like, what the hell am I supposed to do right now? And I did go on, I played, and then about 15 minutes before my set was supposed to end, I remembered, it was sort of planned, but I remembered I pulled on a t-shirt they gave me. It had his name on it. 40 people in the crowd had the same t-shirt on, and I played Sandstorm, and they were going nuts. And I'm getting sort of emotional right now. It was insane. And to have that kind of effect on somebody's life, I can't, it was crazy.
It's amazing. That's a great story.
That's awesome. So which one of you fuckers are gonna play Semper Ham Wallet Reloaded at your funeral? Because you guys love that song so much. So this next video I got is, I'm gonna pause it, but this is when MSI was at the rave in 2014. They interviewed them. So MSI was like a huge fucking this guy has a personality similar to the background. But wow, I get distracted by the chat when I'm smoking, man. What was I saying? Oh, so MSI. So MSI, I started listening to them in like 8th grade. Like even before MSI, Jimmy Urine had a band called The Left Rights, and it was just like this ridiculous, crazy fucking music, and it was awesome. Like he had this one song about station wagons and how awesome they were. It's his favorite thing because they're made of wood paneling. So, and the intro of the song is like the fucking, you hear the ignition to a car starting, like they're trying to start the fucking station wagon. It's so like I used to listen to I still listen to dumb shit like that, but yeah. So like around 8th grade, my cousin gave me this CD with that crazy shit on there, and it was called The Left Rights, and I was like, man, this is fucking cool. So then I found out that because this is back in like the LimeWire days, iMesh, fucking Kazaa, all that shit that gave your computer AIDS. So like a lot of times people would download stuff and like throw shit on CDs and just give it to me and be like, here, check all this stuff out. So yeah, I don't know. I think at the time that I got the Left Right stuff, MSI was already like out, but not like super popular yet. So, but I got their music around the same time, and I really liked it. It was just really crazy and cool stuff. And I've seen them live twice, and it's always a good fucking time. Actually, the last time I was there, and they actually mention it, I think, in this interview, because this is 2014, and I think 2011-ish was the last time that I seen them at the rave, and somebody like started shooting and stuff outside of the fucking place afterwards, and yeah, that was crazy. And what's even crazier is, for those who don't know, who aren't from here, the Rave Eagles Club that you can see pictured here, that's where a lot of our concerts are held, and that's actually an old Masonic temple. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of interesting history on this building, and I've gotten so fucked up in a Masonic temple so many times. It's really cool inside of there, man. Anyways, let's play this interview, and before we do, hold up. What's up, Random Randy and Blatt Earth? Yeah. Alright, so let's play this interview. I like my coffee black, just like my matters. All right.
Hi, I'm Leah with The Rave TV, and I'm here with Mindless Self-Indulgence.
You are.
Who are back for what is their 7th time at the rave.
Wow.
We're gonna die here and become ghosts here.
I know, you guys are looking kind of old.
I think maybe we already are ghosts, right?
So
I almost did die here, actually.
Oh my god, yeah.
Let's see, like when I started listening to them, that was when I was in 8th grade, that was 2001 when I started listening to them. So I think it was around the time, like, when either right before or right after Frankenstein Girls came out, that album, you know? Yeah, so here we go.
That's right. Yeah.
My lung collapsed in the parking lot.
Well, you'll only be the third dead band to play here, then.
All right.
So I'm mostly interested in how you guys came about as a band. I know you had a pretty successful run as comic book characters, and I'd like to know how you transitioned into playing swear-laden music.
First we get penciled, and then we get inked, and then we get colored,
And then we get stinked.
And then we came to life.
Yeah, so you had the comic book before you
I
had
did.
listened to the music.
I thought you guys
that must
were a
be
comic.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Did you think any of that was real, or
Were you just like, oh,
I thought it was an
I didn't even
entertaining
know they had a
comic. I
comic
mean,
book.
that's
I love
real
that.
stuff. That's crazy.
I just know about their music.
but I'm more excited to find out that it was based, if not all, on facts.
Yeah, no, it is.
No,
That's why
in
we
fact,
did the book.
it's
I think it's all true.
Yeah, there's
it.
like,
Not only is it
there's
true,
only
it's
two.
it's watered down, and certain
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
were left
So
out.
if anybody didn't know
Some-
about it or hasn't read it,
Yeah,
you guys have
definitely
to go
get
find
it.
these.
Some of the names
if
have
you
been
can get
slightly
them.
changed, but hardly at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any trouble figuring out who we're talking about.
So with your last album, you guys started a Kickstarter to actually fund it and
Yes,
put
we
it
did.
out. Tell me about that process.
We did it as a hostage situation. So we had this man came up with the idea of how to stop people from ripping off MP3s and pirating by basically getting the money first, and then there was not a platform to do it, so we were like, we kind of held on to the idea, and then Kickstarter came around, and we were like, oh, let's do the hostage situation. So we did, most people do Kickstarter, they do like, oh, we want to, we can't do it without the fans, and let's all get there, and we did it as, if you don't give us fucking money, we're not going to give you this goddamn CD.
And it's funny how many people complain about having to pay for it. They're like, you guys suck because you want us to pay for you.
$1.
$1.
Yeah, if they like your
offered a
music,
package of
why
$1.
wouldn't they want to support you and put it out?
And
$1.
you know what else
literally,
is?
I'm gonna find
if you like to support
Yeah.
new music,
I mean,
Can you rip one up?
check out the links below.
I've done dumber things with $10 or $100 than I have
know, the
with
Matt and the pink one.
$1. Yes.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. Were you guys then more kind of free to do
Absolutely.
what you want?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but
I
we
mean,
had total control.
Yeah, I mean, you become, we've always kind of had a lot of control with what we do with creative control, but that one was kind of like, now you become the record company.
Yeah.
So it becomes a whole different thing. It's like,
But
well,
I mean,
shit, now I gotta
even
send
with
these
all the
out.
control we have had, you always have people going, blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
put. There was nobody there to put
Yeah,
their 2
not
cents in.
one
So it
person.
was like, not even one gigantic, ugly, bearded person.
Not a one.
Don't. You're not talking about me, girl. I already heard your other comment before. I'm letting that slide. It's here though.
What I think is awesome, though, that there's 2 chicks in the band. I mean,
Thank you.
they're
Oh my God, we thought they are way more
2
tougher than
really
regular.
ugly chicks. Anyways, no. So I mean, typically you see 1, 2, but you
Not
guys are
2.
half the band.
That's right. It's true. And we're the rhythm section.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Coming on
also
strong.
pretty cool. It's true.
Well,
We're in
that's
sync
awesome.
in many ways.
Obviously, with the hair and the tight pants, mostly.
That's what she's talking about.
Well, great.
Oh.
So you guys are going on a hiatus after this. Any big, fat, fun rumor as to why? Or just you're tired?
To make up a rumor.
Well, I'm making,
Yeah.
should we make one up? I'm planning on eating myself to death, and you guys gonna feed me? It takes a lot of time. 'Cause
It's also kind of.
But then they'd have to still be with you, and if they have
That's
to feed
true.
you guys might as
It's
well
a-
write songs.
No.
Well, we take
So-
hiatuses all the time. The thing about this is also is more of a heads up because people are really really effing stupid, where they will follow us on Twitter and and Facebook and everything, and we can be like, yeah, we're coming to your town. Here we come, New York. We're coming to your town. I'm like, oh, okay, great, yeah. And I'm gonna Snapchat myself on stage and Instagram myself during the show. And then as soon as the show's done, hey, when are you coming to New York? It's like, are you fucking? How come
You guys never play New York?
Yeah. And so it's like, what? So
Try moving to the Philippines and see how many times you
Yeah.
guys come there.
so it's kind of like get off your ass if you're gonna get off your ass because we're not coming back in a week. So who knows? And what if I get struck by lightning? Then we won't.
What if
come
I
back,
strike
right?
him by lightning?
Yeah, if Zeus here hits me
Then
with a
you would be
thunderbolt.
Thor.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna go with Thor.
Zeus.
I'm Zeus all the way. Or I might be the that they have
Oh,
tridents. I might just hit you with one of them tridents downstairs,
Neptune
man.
and Poseidon yourself.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, it
Neptune's
was great
keepsake.
talking to you guys, meeting the comic book characters and everything.
Come to life. Oh, and there's some more.
Yeah, look at us.
God, wow, look at those tits.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's crazy.
Those are great.
They took some good liberties.
Yeah.
Just telling you.
Hey, why not, right?
Animators love to take liberties with breasts.
Yeah, they made my guitar really
See,
big,
I
too.
would have gone with big arms, big forearms like Popeye.
On the wings, right?
You know, because the first thing guys look at are your forearms, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Big forearms.
Big ones.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us today here at the Rave TV.
Thank
we
you.
really
It
appreciate
It was a
it.
pleasure.
Peace.
I'm done.
Are we clear?
Yeah, if you guys ever have a chance to see them live, I would totally recommend it. They put on a great fucking show. Yeah, so this next video I have is an interview with Nirvana in 1990, because Nirvana was a huge influence on me. So around like 8th grade-ish, I started getting into like more like grungy sounding music. Grungy, wow, I sound so gay saying that. But like, you know, Nirvana and a little bit of Pearl Jam, but I can't really stand the way the dude fucking sings, but I would listen to it if it was on the radio, you know, like more alternative rock and stuff like that. So here's an interview with Nirvana in 1990.
What and who is Nirvana?
Nirvana's 3 guys from Puget Sound area, Olympia, Bainbridge Island, and Tacoma. Nirvana is a 7-letter word, and Nirvana is a concept.
Nirvana is a 3-piece underground alternative grunge rock band from Seattle, Washington, or the outskirts of Seattle, Washington, and that's about it. I mean, that's what we are.
Nirvana are 3 people, me and my 2 friends, Kurt and Chris.
Yeah, if in case you didn't notice, that's not Dave Grohl. This is the drummer they had before Dave Grohl joined the band.
And Nirvana, well, I'll give you the meaning. It's kind of like it's like the freedom from like all pain and desire. You know, just a perfect place between peace and your mind, I guess.
How would you describe your music and what you do?
Man.
I would describe it more like a heavy pop. It's like a lot more of what we're writing has a more pop sound, but we still want to maintain the heaviness. So I would say heavy pop.
We play a very powerful, high energy type of rock and roll. We move around on stage a lot and just scream with an abandon, I guess.
How did you first get involved with the Sub Pop label?
By some luck, our guardian angel pointed us in the direction of Reciprocal Studios and Jack Endino, who knows Jonathan Poneman. And Jack Endino turned Jonathan Poneman on to our tape, and he thought it was really groovy. And he gave us a call, and we made a single, and then we made a record. And now we're here today.
You recently finished a tour of Europe. What was that like?
We were received very well. I was surprised. People give the underground more credibility there. There's not a big gap between like mainstream and underground. They respect the bands more. It doesn't matter if you're an underground band or an above ground band or a sea level band or a seaweed band or something.
I want to be a seaweed band.
What was it like to play in Berlin right after the wall came down?
It was a good show. It was a wild show, but it was mostly West Berliners because those poor Eastern people they've been isolated for so long, they don't really have a clue. You know, they like Bon Jovi and stuff like that. You know, so I think it's going to be a few years before they catch on.
We were delayed for about 4 more hours because there were so many people coming from East Berlin into West Germany. So we pretty much just experienced it on the highway, and that's it. We didn't get to see the wall. We didn't get to see anything but the venue that night
Eliza
when we
DeVille?
played. But there's a lot of good
Hail
feeling in
Stream
the
Raiders.
air, a lot of good atmosphere.
Right now, Seattle is a real well-known music
Don't
scene.
forget to
What
hit the
makes
like
it so
button,
hot?
guys.
I think because there happens to be a lot of good
mic is
bands
too
coming out
high.
of Seattle right now. A lot of
My
good
mic
bands.
is higher than me.
And it's just by chance, I guess. It's luck, I don't know.
There's Mudhoney, there's Tad, there's Soundgarden. There's so many bands out there. It's really special, and it's odd. It's just all these bands in the right place, the right
Looks
time.
like a good place to work.
What
and
advice
live.
would you give to someone who's just starting out or wants to have a musical career?
Just keep practicing and don't give up. Just never give up. Play as often as you can and be really dedicated and try to write good music and don't worry about the material ethics that go with music. It doesn't matter what you look like or anything. It doesn't matter what your product looks like. It's what it sounds like.
Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that tapping, but I think there's a train going by. It's like, what the fuck is that noise? All right. So, oh, I forgot to cue it up. I'm gonna do it another stream, but like I just wanted to tell you guys a story too. Back in 8th grade, when I was in 8th grade, Afro Man came out with the Because I Got High, and I remember when the week it came out, and I was chilling in one of the science classrooms during lunch or something, because we had this old ass teacher. He had to have been like 60 years old, but he was cool as fuck, and he'd let us just like hang out and play on the computer and stuff. Like I said, this was what, 2000, 2001, something like that, when that song came out. And so we're all chilling in there one day, and we put the song on the computer. Like, we didn't turn it up super loud at first, but then like the teacher like heard it, and we hear him start singing it. We're like, what the fuck? And it's because apparently his old ass like knew the song and like liked the song, and he's like, turn that shit up. So like we turned it up, and we're all just sitting there fucking just like singing this ridiculous song and fucking in class with this old ass teacher, man. And then like I ended up getting a t-shirt from Spencer's that said Because I Got High on it. Like, it didn't say Because I Got High on it. It said Because I Got High on the shirt. You know, I'm too high. What's up, Saucin? So, hail motherfuckers. All hail to Saucin and Okie Dean. I'm getting sidetracked now. Anyways, so I got this shirt. It said Because I Got High. And I wore it to fucking school one day, and I made it all the way until the last class of the day. And then my teacher pulls me aside as we're on our way to the library to do research for some fucking research paper. And he pulls me aside and he goes, does your mom know you have that shirt? And I was like, no. He's like, okay, don't ever wear that to school again, and I won't tell her. And I'm like, okay, thank you. So, yeah. I still had kept the shirt, but I just didn't wear it to school anymore. But that was funny, though, that I made it all the way to the last class before, like, somebody, like, was like, what the fuck? Why are you wearing that? Alright, so the next video I have is with the band called Anti-Flag. So, I don't know if you guys know who they are, but they were a punk rock band from Pennsylvania. And I started listening to them in 9th grade. So when I got to high school, I didn't really listen to like punk yet. Like I was still listening to like Blink-182 and shit like that. And I met this dude, EJ, and he's like we would always like share music in school. Like we'd burn mix CDs for each other and shit like that. So he gave me this CD. He's like, here, you gotta check this out. And it had Anti-Flag on it. And I heard the song Tearing Everyone Down, and that was actually the first guitar solo I taught myself how to play too, was that one. But he played that song for me in class, and I'm like, holy shit, like this is amazing, like just the energy of it, and I loved it. And I just, from there on, I like fell in love with punk rock music, at least like throughout high school. I was like super into it because it was just like so energetic and awesome for, you know, angry teenagers. Just go to a fucking punk show and slam into each other and run around and be all crazy and skateboard and do all that fun shit. So yeah, here's an interview with Anti-Flag.
Anti-Flag, this is watchmojo.com. Peace. We've changed a lot of times in a lot of records.
And actually, so the year that I started listening to them was the year before I think it was the Terror State came out, or it might have been the same year. But yeah, actually, I don't feel like showing it on stream right now, but I have the sticker from that album when I bought that album when it came out, and it came with a sticker, and I put it on my guitar, and yeah, that was a good fucking album. And actually, I remember I used to like take Sharpies and like write on my clothes and stuff with Sharpies. Like all my hoodies had like band names like scribbled on them and shit. And I got pulled out of class one time because so I had these big black like Jinko jeans. I used to wear the big fucking Jinkos. And I was bored and fucked up one day in class, and I took a piece of chalk and I just started drawing on my pants, and I wrote "fuck you" on my right leg, and then I wrote "black flag" on my left leg, and then like drew the fucking little Black Flag logo, because I don't know if you guys know, but Black Flag's a punk rock band from the 80s. So, I drew that shit on my pants because I was, bored and shit in class, and I had all these like band names written on my hoodie, like Anti-Flag and all this stuff. And I was in shop class, and all of a sudden security comes down. They're like, "Excuse me, we need to talk to you." So they take me upstairs to the security office, and they're like, "We need to like search you and stuff." I'm like, "What the hell did I do?" And they're like, "What is all this stuff on your clothes? What is this Anti-Flag on your clothes?" I'm like, "It's a fucking band." He's like, "No, seriously, what is it? Are you a fucking terrorist?" I was like, "No, it's a band, bro." And he's like, "Well, we got reports that you wrote 'fuck you black people' on your pants." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "No, if you could clearly see, it says 'fuck you,' and then this leg says 'Black Flag.' It doesn't say 'black people,' so fuck you." But yeah, so and then he still kept like trying to argue with me about like, because I had Anti-Flag on my hoodie, and I'm like, "Dude, it's a fucking band, look it up." So as and it was a black guy too, obviously, like most of our security guards were black. The one old ass white security guard comes walking up. He used to be a cop, and then he retired and was security at our school, and he was like in his 60s or something, and he comes walking up and he's like, "What's going on here?" And he's like, "She's got like this terrorist Anti-Flag stuff," and he's like, "Dude, that's a band, like let her go back to class." He was all fucking pissed, like yeah, hell yeah, man, those are good bands. But it was just so ridiculous that like it took some like 60-year-old retired cop to come over and be like, "Bro, that's a band, now let her go back to class." So anyways, let's check out this interview.
After being a band for over 10 years, like, how do we keep focused and how do we keep the ship righted the right way?
You guys started off as a band. You said that you didn't only want to be a band about entertainment. You said that you also wanted to sort of educate people about your fundamental belief behind the band.
Well, very much so. I think the fundamental
The Owen
belief of the
Benjamin
band
tribute
is the
channel,
band's
that's
name.
hilarious.
Anti-Flag is the breaking down of invisible separations, whether they be race, religion, social
The
class,
avatar
how much
should
money
be
you
a
make in
shadow
year,
dick.
how much little you care about money. All around the world, these invisible separations exist to keep us apart. We're a band of citizens of the world.
Throughout your career, you always talked about like politics, fascism, racism, etc. So right now, what do you think is perhaps the most important theme or topic that people should be aware of?
We're starting to see a troop withdraw in Iraq. That's awesome. The closing down of Guantanamo Bay, great. Those are no-brainers. But at the same time, you have Barack Obama giving these bailouts out to the same people that got us into this mess. You're supposedly the world's leader. There's not one thing in particular that's greater than another. I think that's for individuals to pick themselves as to what issue, strikes a chord in their heart and what is their calling.
You guys criticized Bush's administration, so I was wondering if you could say one thing to him today, what would it be?
I think I would say thanks. We were in a band in the year 2000 when George Bush was elected. We were contesting his win. We knew that he would be detrimental for society at that point, but people were shutting us up. People were saying, "You can't criticize the president." We were banned in 2001 when September 11th happened. We were taking heaps of shit for it. And then you fast forward to the election of Barack Obama. I was at the inauguration. They showed Bush on the screen and 2 million people booed. And it's like, man, thanks. Thanks for being such a up that we were able to, have a little bit of "I told you so," but also be able to right the ship that was on a very wrong path. There's still people always who are hungry for something that's about more than just girls and drugs and music that actually strikes a chord with them mentally and emotionally, and that's what we try to create.
Right, thanks Bush for all the views. I should say, for my channel, guys, let's just take a moment. I want to thank Owen Benjamin for all the views. You're fucking crazy ass. Giant squirt dicks to Owen. Everybody squirt to Owen. Squirts in the chat for Owen. Anyways, so back to Anti-Flag. I fucking love that band. And if you guys ever have a chance to see them live, I assume they're probably still, the show is probably still as good as they used to be. But I don't know, because I haven't been to a show in so long. But I remember I seen them live in, I think, 2005. And it was probably one of the funnest shows I've ever been to. Like, there was this giant fucking circle pit that everybody started. We had the show was at the rave, like where the MSI interview was at. And yeah, so like it's like this little club, like there's no seats or anything. It's not like a big amphitheater type thing. It's just like a little club. And we had the whole fucking thing, like a big circle pit. And like at the very end when they played Die for the Government, man, everybody was like jumping on stage and shit. It was amazing. If you ever have a chance to go to check them out, I highly recommend it. So another big influence on me was the Dead Kennedys. So I got a interview here with them from 1983. Yeah, Owen Benjamin probably is lurking and jerking and squirting on Nathan. Hopefully, I'm going to turn this down just in case. Because I don't feel like getting my stream taken down.
Not everyone can appreciate the sounds of the Dead Kennedys.
I fucking love the Dead Kennedys.
Strident, frenetic, and often angry.
It's something that's supposed to be gut level and interesting, far more true to the original spirit of rock and roll than anything like AC/DC or Men at Work.
The Eagles. It's supposed to be upsetting and get under your skin.
Any Dead Kennedys fans out
to
there?
To get people out of their and anti-normality, shall we say.
It's to get people out of their little apathetic shells and to get involved in what's going on around them, maybe, instead of just sit around at home. Get people out of their ruts by, knocking them on the side.
It's a state of mind more than a stereotype, really, because part of the original intention of punk was to break down different kinds of uniforms and social etiquette that were getting in the way of people's open mind.
The band is strongly political, anti-violence and anti-apathy. Even though they're both emotions the band sometimes arouses in people. The apathy from people who couldn't care less about their music, and the violent feelings from those who find the band's name offensive.
Doesn't having a name like that tend to attract notoriety for the band?
Well, what's wrong with that?
Some might say that you're cashing in on a fairly tasteless
well, but why don't you look at the amount of money we've made and then decide whether we're cashing in or not. You can't cash in if you don't get much money out of it. We can survive off the band, but it took us a long time just to get to that point. And so it's not as though it's a big exploitation thing.
This is one of the band's better-known tunes, called Holiday in Cambodia. Among other song titles are Too Drunk, Kill the Poor, and Terminal Preppy.
Too drunk to fuck.
For the Kennedys, their lyrics say it all, even if you can't make out the words when performed live. And live is the most probable way of hearing them, because radio programmers seem hesitant to schedule their songs. They don't sell a lot of records either, but then they don't see those conventional yardsticks as a measure of success.
Our idea of success is if somebody comes into the show that has never been to a punk show before and has real closed attitudes about what they're going to expect and walks out with their minds open a bit and maybe thinking a little bit more about what's going on in the world and still had a good time, that's success as far as we've been successful that night then.
Most recording artists perhaps would equate success to having a top 10 record or something of that nature. Do you see it in that way?
We're against rock and roll business and rock and roll prostitution. as I say, the original spirit of rock and roll was just people, it was meant as a form of attack, really. I don't think any art is legitimate unless it attacks people. I mean, even with painting or film or something, it's got to be something that arouses some kind of deep positive or negative thought rather than something that goes in one ear and out the other.
What you say, though, sort of implies that
They do sell a lot of shirts.
you shouldn't be getting fun out of it.
That's crap. We get a lot of fun out of it. I mean, it's more gratifying to be able to survive, even if it's at a pretty low level, doing this than it is to slave away working an 8-hour-a-day crap job like you are.
That's exactly right, and that's what I'm trying to do, man. Like, I'm not sure. I don't care if I'm a fucking millionaire. Like, if I can make just enough to, you know, pay my bills and eat and all that stuff and make music and entertain people, that's a good life right there. Like, if you can make the same amount, you know, as you would working in a warehouse, why not, do something you enjoy and that, like, adds beauty to the world, you know?
One final question. What can people expect when they go and see a concert by the Dead Kennedys?
Yeah, so I didn't really like NoFX. I was not really a big fan of NoFX at all, but their art, like their album art and stuff, was always cool, like the War on Errorism stuff, and yeah, but I didn't really like their music. I can't stand the way Fat Mike sings and shit. It's just irritating.
Come down and find out. We're not going to put any preconceptions in your mind that it's going to be this or that. But we don't want people coming down to make trouble, basically. And we are pretty anti-violent. I suggest you come down for yourself and find out. I'd like to see you out front.
So yeah, that was the Dead Kennedys. I think what helped them a lot too was they were on the SLC Punk soundtrack. That's actually how I found a lot of punk too. Was, I don't know if you guys saw that movie. It had Matthew Lillard and some other people I can't think of right now. But my aunt bought me that movie for Christmas when I was like 14 or 15 or something like that. And it was a really great movie. I still actually have that movie, and that's how I found a lot of punk bands. Like, I would read the credits at the end of the movie, and then I'd go on like LimeWire and shit and try to search for the artists and download whatever music I could find of theirs. And yeah, so another big influence, well, not like super big, but I do enjoy their music, was the Sex Pistols. And I thought this was just a funny interview with Johnny Rotten from not too long ago. And I also wanted to point out, I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but I know a lot of you guys who follow Semper and all that are into like the Mandela effect type shit. So I clearly remember when I was in high school in like the early 2000s, Johnny Rotten passed away because when I had AOL Instant Messenger, Instant Messenger, and you could leave like the little away messages and stuff. So mine was set to some fucking quote, and then it was like some quote from Johnny Rotten, and then it had like rest in peace Johnny Rotten at the end. Like, but he's clearly not dead because he's doing interviews still. So I'm not sure if anybody else remembers him dying and then all of a sudden now he's not dead. But if anybody else remembers that, let me know, because that might be an interesting Mandela effect to look into. So yeah, let's play this interview here.
John Lydon, also known as Johnny Rotten, you voted for President Trump because you have the right to do that. You're a resident in LA. What is so appealing about President Trump, which lots of people over here find confusing?
Well, look, I'm working class English, right? It makes complete sense to me to vote for a person who actually talks about my kind of people. The media in America, all of it, it's liberal-minded, it proclaims to be, but it's only really basically liberal with the truth. they toe the line of the Democrat Party by assumption that they know what's best. Yet they don't know nothing about, say, blue-collar workers, Latinos, African Americans, in or outside of large cities. It's assume the position is the Democrat Party attitude. Now, Trump, he's not a politician. He's never claimed to be. How unusually, exceptionally wonderful is that for people like me, working class people? We're bored with your intellectual left-wing ideas. We can't take much more of you. You talk twaddle. Everything you do, you just miss the point of who the general population are.
But John Lydon, I was just going to say, what about his rudeness? What about his obnoxiousness?
He does nothing for these people. Nothing. And this is why they now support him so loyally, because he's the only hope. Now, you could call him a narcissist, you could call him nasty, he could be many different things, this fella. But he's the only hope, because the system, as usual, is a SH system.
All right, John, let me jump in. What's it like for you? You're in Los Angeles, which is obviously a very liberal city in a very liberal state. What is it like being you with these views surrounded by wokies?
Well, it's hell on earth, let me tell you, right? I've watched what the Democrats have done to California, let alone this entire West Coast, and it's utterly disgusting. I mean, if you want Chaz, Biden's your fella, right? That's it, plain and simple. They've shown nothing by way of progress or making things better for anybody. It's chaotic, it's dogma-led. It seems to have a Karl Marx agenda behind it, although they're confused about their honesty even on that. The politics of left-wing is utter confusionism, and I despise them for it.
John, your new book is called
workers.
Your new book is called I Could Be.
I want to point out how funny it was that the people interviewing him are like, what about his rudeness? Like, you're asking motherfucking Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols what about his rudeness? Nigga, please, come on.
Be wrong, I could be right. It sounds to me like you'll probably think you're right.
Well, some of the time, that's highly likely. The evidence so far on my career has been I'm generally correct. Now, if you ask me who's going to win the election, God, I don't gamble, you know? I just don't, and I wait to see how people view this. But, I mean, so far, whether he wins or loses, Trump's proved a major point that this country has been divided by smart-ass, know-it-all city slickers versus what? The thickos and the stupids of us, you know? Because we don't agree with your liberal-minded agenda. Well, your liberal-minded agenda, look what it's done in Portland and Seattle, eh? Do you want some more of that everywhere?
Well, explain what it's done in Portland and Seattle, John.
Hell on earth, right? 140 solid days of rioting, which
Thanks,
Biden
Casey,
would
you
quite happily
faggot.
proclaim as peaceful protesting, and went on afterwards in the later hours.
Boobs are
It's
fucking gay.
not dealt with.
Didn't you know
It
that?
doesn't deal with Antifa
You
and
watch
BLM
ON, you
in
should
any
fucking
honest
know that.
way at all. They're not an organisation. Well, they're so closely affiliated with the Democrat Party, so maybe the Democrats are not an organisation either. I'm puzzled by the nonsense of it. It's just completely destructive.
You're just distracted by the
John,
big
in all the
black
time
man
you've
on my
lived- in all
shirt.
the time
Let
you've
me
lived in
just say, I mean,
Yeah.
this Biden nonsense, right? This absolutely appalling statement of you're not black if you don't vote for him. Now, hello, that really, really upset a lot of black people, right? I have to live here. We tolerate that. And this brings me back to that other champagne socialist, Hillary Clinton, who I mistakenly thought was a nice person a few years ago. When she called
How you doing,
Trump
Casey? I haven't seen you in a bit.
basket full of deplorables.
You never talk in my Discord
John,
anymore.
we have to leave you, but We're going to go and talk to Nigel Farage.
Don't forget,
Are you a fan of Nigel Farage? Because we're about to talk to him.
Yeah! I love Nigel.
I thought you might be.
You were responsible for me meeting him.
Really?
Yeah!
All right, that's enough of that. So, this next interview I have is from Pantera back in 1994. 'Cause, I started really getting into like metal, like Pantera and shit like that. So here's this interview with them.
Ever since the thrash rant band Pantera topped the charts with its new album Far Beyond Driven, there's been media mumbling about the alleged racism of the group's lyrics. A quick check of the lyric sheet reveals nothing beyond the usual apocalyptic hardcore spew, although such phrases as building a blood and kill them all may strike some non-fans as vaguely unsettling. We spoke to Pantera about all this recently, and in our interview with frontman Phil Anselmo, you'll notice he's wearing a T-shirt bearing the Triskelion, a circle of 3 interlocked sevens that's well known as a white supremacist symbol in South Africa. Here's the story.
It's heavy metal without any reservation at all about saying so.
Far Beyond Driven, Pantera's third major label release, surprised just about everybody when it debuted at #1 on the album chart a month ago.
Well, I think we expected to be in the top 10. I don't know if we really thought it could do #1, but, you know, the reason why it happened is, you know, not because of any crazy thing or there wasn't anything else out there, just because, you know, we spent 4 years on the road for the last 2 records, touring nonstop. We got the most devoted, loyal fans out there, and when the record came out, bam, they went and got it.
Even though Far Beyond Driven has dropped down the album chart almost as fast as it topped it, the band has continuously been supporting their album through in-store appearances and a club tour which incites this type of fan reaction.
High energy, way high energy. Audience is part of the show. They move as much as we do. Absolutely. It's a total feeling between the band and the audience. That's why we write the songs. We're writing for the audience, not for the radio.
Thanks for the demo and thanks for the joint. You strapped to it, man. That's cool.
Singer Philip Anselmo also thinks it's cool to write controversial lyrics. Lyrics some have called racist and homophobic. Whether they are or not, Anselmo does not like to answer for those provocative lyrics, which he loves to write.
Everybody's judge is the point. Everybody's judge. I'm judged. Again. What do you mean by that? I have friends of every color and every creed, and they ask come in every color. And that's how I believe, and that's you're only a fool if you don't.
Well then, some fools seem to have found their way to Pantera.
White power! Kids that come to our shows and whatever yell white power, well, all I got to say about that is I ain't them kids, and them kids are gonna yell what they're gonna yell anyway.
Pantera will be making its way across the country this summer on a more extensive tour, playing larger venues with their friends Sepultura and Biohazard.
To me, it feels good to be able to go headline and take some of your favorite bands on tour with you and give them the exposure that somebody else did for you Sunday during the one.
Right.
It's going to be the best, one of the best tours of the summer, if not the best. Absolutely.
Asked if she knew the meaning of that T-shirt symbol Anselmo was wearing, a Pantera publicist said clothes are not the issue.
Yeah.
Did I ever picture?
Oh, that's so funny. All right, so Hatebreed was another band that I fucking love. If you guys, I see, like a lot of people don't even like listen to the lyrics. They're just like, oh, it's a bunch of screaming, blah blah blah. Like, check out Hatebreed's lyrics. It's fucking good shit. Like, especially like I really like their older stuff. Their new stuff's good too, but like I still like, especially when I used to go to the gym and I'd be working out and stuff, like Perseverance was like great to work out to. Like, it's just really, really inspiring music. It's really good. So yeah, here's a interview with Jamie Josta.
Like doing it this long? Yeah, because I was working at the Colony in New Haven. I had to prep like hundreds of salads for a wedding, and I got like halfway through and I'm like, I can't do this. And so I remember getting to the show and being on stage and thinking, wow, for that whatever 25 minutes that we played that night, There was no depression, there was no anxiety, there was no salads to make, there was no poverty, it was just, I was free. So how do you recreate that every night? Well, you better work your ass off so you can do that every night. You know, some people just have the gym, some people have fishing, some people have golf. For me, that's my serenity, is being on the stage, screaming my head off for whatever reason, I don't know why. If I had to discuss like specific highs of our career, I would say everything has been the last couple years. You know, the best times are now. Like, I'm very grateful of what's going on now. Because, I mean, even like last year, we did 2 stadium shows in Germany with Metallica. James comes out and says, I want to get a picture with the 4 singers. Me, Chuck Billy, and Zetro from Exodus, and James. And I thought, I'll go home now and retire. I don't have to ever tour again. And there you go, because like 3 guys who I had posters of on my wall. I remember staying up seeing Exodus videos on Headbangers Ball. I remember going to see Testament. Like, I was going to Testament shows on like Demonic, like in the mid-90s and late 90s, on The Gathering, like when it was in a slump, when thrash was like long forgotten. I actually booked Exodus with Paul Bailoff at multiple shows on the reunion on Lesson in Violence, and you know, so then when Zetro rejoined the band, I was psyched, and then Metallica, obviously, I mean, I physically fought people over the Black Album. So I told Lars and James, like when I saw them, like, who else is opening for you that would physically defend your honor? No, like, so yeah, like the highs have been recently, you know, we had our highest charting debut. This is our highest headline numbers in probably, I don't know, 7-8 years. This tour is outselling the Hatebreed Typo Negative tour. When we took out Typo Negative, this tour is outselling the Hatebreed Cannibal Corpse tour. We took out Cannibal Corpse when we came here. This tour is outselling the Hatebreed Chalice Fall Dying Fetus tour. So really, I gotta just be thankful that everything's happening now. I know everybody loves the nostalgia and they want to talk about the glory days and the 90s and Perseverance, the album and all that stuff, but that's like long gone to me. I'm all about now. You know, there's this thing in the hardcore and the punk scene where everybody's like, I just like the demo, I like the 7-inch. It's like, yo, you guys are so corny. Like, the best stuff is coming out now. Like, I like Agnostic Front's last record. I'm jamming that in the one before it. Like, I don't need to be like fronting like some, you know, like some of these kids like, oh, I only like Victim in Pain. No, shut the fuck up. Like, support what's now. You weren't there. You were fucking twinkling in your dad's balls when Victim in Pain was out. You know? Speaking of Zetro, I'm gonna start doing like a recurring podcast segment, I think, with like Zetro motivational things. Because like before we would go on stage, if we were playing together, he'd come up to me, and he did this to Unearth. I heard about it, and they told me about it. They were like, we don't even know that dude. He gave us the best pep talk ever. We went out, we crushed it. So then I was like, you got to do it for me. And he'd be like, look, man, you're gonna go out. They're here for you, man. They're ready to destroy everything. You're gonna kill it. It's gonna be great. You leave it all on the stage. And so I want to do that on my podcast. Like, start it out where he's giving me the pep talk, and then we break into the podcast.
All right, so this next video is exclusive footage of Casey. Are you guys ready?
We'll take them down anyway. Watch my tapes.
Videos of Casey. Oh, there's Casey right there. So I'm playing this because I got really into classic rock back in high school, especially Queen. They're still one of my all-time favorite bands, and I was lucky enough to see them in 2006 when they played here with Paul Rogers.
I mean, people think that I'm a real, it starts with C, but I can't think of anything.
I'm Jane Mansfield.
Do you get intimidated by the size of that crowd?
No, the bigger the better. In everything.
Look, it's Hungarian.
That's enough boobs.
Okay, I shall have one.
Why don't you do a nice picture of Roger's pics? He was still standing there.
Oh no, I didn't realise you were playing that.
Whoa.
Oh, blood. Sue the management.
Yeah, I played as well.
Here's
Shit.
for Eliza. Look at the feet, Eliza.
Peter, sue the management.
Get off my trousers.
Oh shit, Dawson's live. Dawson, did you see the feet? You gotta tell Eliza. I don't think she's here anymore. Look at Casey in the bubble bath. Isn't he so cute?
On my shoulder.
This is what Casey does every Sunday night.
How lucky can you be? Every night's a party in the leader. Lantern. One stump, one tuck, two sits, John Digger.
That's so funny. I love how he's just like making up random shit.
One heart, one soul, one sex position.
I'm gonna pause that because I don't want them to like take it down. But that was yeah. See, the viewer thing has been off. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but whatever. So this next video I have is about Billie Holiday. I got into Billie Holiday because when I was in history class in high school, my history teacher brought in a Billie Holiday CD, and I forgot what we were going over in the chapter, but it made her bring in the CD, and she's like, I want you guys to listen to this. And yeah, and ever since then I really liked her, and I listen to her more now than I did when I was younger. And so I have this video about some of the details of her life. Yeah, I know, that's what he does
the
while
name
he's
Eleanor
ghosting
Fagan
us.
may not be familiar
in the
to you, but under the
bubble
stage
bath,
name Billie Holiday, she became
jerking
one of the
off
most
to Owen
influential
Benjamin.
jazz vocalists in history, emerging as a defining voice of her generation. But sadly, she also endured more than her share of tragedy. The story of Billie Holiday's early childhood is cloudy. Even her real name is a matter of debate. But by most accounts, she was born on April 7, 1915 in Philadelphia to teenager Sadie Fagan. Her father was musician Clarence Holiday. She spent her formative years in jazz-soaked Baltimore, where she lived in poverty. She dropped out of school in the 5th grade and did 2 stints in a Catholic reform school, the second after being abducted and assaulted by a 40-year-old neighbor. At the reformatory school, Holiday found her singing voice, but also endured horrific treatment. Holiday recalled in her autobiography, Lady Sings the Blues, that while there, she wasn't permitted to sleep in the dormitory with the other girls, and at one point was locked in a room with a dead girl. By the age of 13, she and her mother had moved to New York City, where things somehow got worse. After Billie became the victim of sex trafficking, the authorities, instead of helping her, arrested her and sent her to prison on prostitution charges. By 14, Holiday and her mother were out of jail, but desperately poor. Holiday wrote in her autobiography, "The truth is, Mother and I were starving. It was cold. Mother was a housemaid and couldn't find work. I tried scrubbing floors too, but I just couldn't do it." Instead, she began singing for tips at local jazz clubs. It provided enough money for them to live on, but at the age of 18, Holiday hit it big when she was discovered by Benny Goodman's record producer. She soon had gigs in movies and as the lead singer for famous band leaders Count Basie and Artie Shaw. But life on the road was far from glamorous. While touring, she was often forced to use the service elevators as to not upset white patrons, prohibited from eating with the rest of the band, and confined to a dark room until she took the stage to entertain the same patrons who wouldn't share her elevator. On one occasion, a member of the crowd shouted a racial slur at her during a song. Holiday reportedly lost her temper and was escorted off stage, cutting the performance short. Billie Holiday skyrocketed to fame in 1939 with the independent recording of Strange Fruit, an unforgiving, haunting poem about lynchings of African Americans. The at-the-time graphic portrayal of racial violence became a sensation, but it also put her squarely in the crosshairs of the federal government. According to Johann Hari, author of Chasing the Scream, The First and Last Days of the War on Drugs, the Federal Bureau of Narcotics heard rumblings of Holiday's heroin use. And when she continued to speak out against racial violence and injustice during the Jim Crow era, the feds used her heroin addiction as an excuse to silence her. In 1947, she was busted for heroin possession, and instead of being sent to a hospital to get well as she requested, she was sentenced to a year and a day in a federal prison. She came out clean, sober, and a convict, unable to secure the necessary license to perform in cabarets and clubs. Not long after her release, however, the defiant Holiday played at Carnegie Hall. Holiday had several important romantic relationships in her life, but all were doomed by the shadow of drugs and domestic violence. In 1941, she married Jimmy Monroe, who introduced Holiday first to opium and then to heroin. The marriage ended shortly thereafter, but her drug use continued with her new boyfriend, Joe Guy. In her memoir, Holiday recalled spending the height of her career in luxury and in a haze of drugs. "I spent the rest of the war years on 52nd Street and a few other streets. I had the white gowns and the white shoes, and every night they'd bring me the white gardenias and the white junk." Holiday was unrepentant about her drug use, but in 1957 she married Louis McKay and temporarily got clean. But McKay was abusive and swindled her out of her fortune. They soon separated. Holiday fell back into drug use and heavy drinking, and in 1959 she was admitted to the hospital with cirrhosis of the liver. Even then, the government wouldn't leave her in peace. While literally lying on her deathbed, she was arrested for drug possession, and was reportedly handcuffed to the gurney and placed under police guard. She died there at the age of 44, with less than $1 left in her bank account. Though punctuated by tragedy, Billie Holiday's life speaks much more to the triumph of perseverance, the strength of conviction, and the courage to bring voice to racial injustice. She made the Downbeat Hall of Fame in 1961, and shortly after, nearly 100 of her greatest records from the early years were restored. Her catalog is in wide release to this day. In the 1970s, her memoir, Lady Sings the Blues, made it to the big screen starring Diana Ross, who earned an Oscar nod for her portrayal of Holiday. In death, Holiday has garnered more than 20 Grammy wins or nominations so far, and in 2000, the woman lovingly known as Lady Day was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame by Ross. It's been more than 50 years since Holiday's death, and though she left the world as poor as she entered it, we're richer for having her voice as a testament to the hard life that shaped a legendary lady. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
That's on grunge if you guys want to subscribe to them. All right, let's pick it back up a little bit. So I spent way too much fucking money in high school on Dance Dance Revolution, and I loved the music from it. So we're gonna watch this video of this dude. Look at this. I was never this good, but it's always cool watching these fucking people. There was one song that me and my friend were really good at. I think it was Butterfly. And like we could like spin around and use our hands and shit. We played it way too fucking much. Anybody else play DDR back in the day? Or still play it? There used to be a couple people that would come into the arcade by my house that would play with both pads at the same time because they were like, super good at it. In the arcade, I think once a week they'd have like lock-ins where you pay like $10 and you basically get locked in overnight and just all you can play, all the machines are open. Do you guys remember Strong Bad?
It's the email. What? The email. Hey, Strong Bad. You like techno at all? If you do, what kind? Silent J. Oh, very clever.
Yeah, the first video
really
I played
style,
was
Darude,
if you want to go back, Alan.
Like,
It was an interview with Darude.
And then this other part came in and it was like and then there's always some kind of high-pitched noise, you know, or like a siren that's like and of course they have to put in the obligatory old movie quote from some sci-fi movie. It's like, the system is down, the system is down, the system is down, the system is down. The system is down. The system is down. The system is down. The cheat is grounded. We had that light switch installed for you so you could turn the lights on and off. Not so you could throw light switch raves. Now let's go break open that glow stick and pour it into Homestar Runner's Mountain Dew. I heard they have to pump your stomach when you drink that stuff.
I fucking love Strong Bad. Okay, so this is a video back when I was in high school was when like YouTube wasn't out yet. So we had what the fuck are the names of the, I can't think of it, like stickdeath.com, and there was like newgrounds.com or something like that, and New Bombs, some shit like that. Well, this song came in an email one time because I remember like people would email me like random funny songs from different sites, and somebody sent me this song, and it was so awesome that I like fucking recorded it off of the computer like onto a cassette tape, like playing it, like recording it through like a microphone on a cassette tape just so I could like listen to it and shit. So yeah, check this video out. It's called Squirrel Go Wee. And by the way, an Owen Benjamin Steele song is coming up too. Stolen song, whatever.
Oh my god, it was this guy and he came over and he was like, oh my god, I remember my mom, she was like, that's so great because I want to take that. Oh my god, then there was this guy and he goes, hey, I got a knife in the wheel. So I went up to a sub gangster and he was like, yo, motherfucker, yo, it's hard to beat on the street. He was like, so I saw a kid in a wheelchair and he started really fast. He was like, yo, what was you moving today? This guy, he was like, and I was like, oh my god, when you're a kid and you wanna go wee, but you ain't got drugs yet. Well, hold on for your life. Hold on to your little gonads and strife. 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 Gonads in the lightning, in the lightning, in the rain. So I saw a squirrel go screaming and get my car to the
Yeah, so that's the kind of random ass shit I used to watch, and I still kind of watch, as you can see. Here's another Strong Bad cartoon.
Oh, tap your toes, I check the email. Tap your toes tonight. Hey, Strong Bad, what's up? Can you play the guitar? Derek Highead. Hey, hi, Hyatt.
Gonads and
Hyatt. Northern California. Hey, Derek. Not much, man. Yeah, I can play the guitar. I know all about virtuosos and tremolos and arpeggios. I can do it all. I can play your basic rhythm guitar like jug jugga jug jugga jug jugga jug jugga jug jugga jaw jaw jigga jug jugga jug jugga
Right, me too, man. I used to sing that shit.
Something like that.
I still randomly
I
sing
can also
it.
play some pretty hot licks too. You know, the kind that are just way up high on the tiny strings and you mash your fingers on them. Me, 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 me. Yeah, and then Strongman comes in on his bass and he's like do 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 do, and then G comes in on his keyboards and he's like boop 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 boop, and then I'm like, and the dragon comes and the oh yeah.
That's good shit. Okay, I don't think you guys are ready for this one. Do you guys... Let's see if you guys remember this next one. You guys wonder why I'm so retarded. The shit I listen to. Yeah, Vinyl Black Sheep, man. I'm talking too loud. My thingy keeps turning red. Okay, so I think I've had enough of that one for right now. This next video is the one that I was talking about that Owen Benjamin stole. You know, his most famous song that everybody's, oh, that nigga stole my bike is such a good song. So, funny thing, the first time I started listening to Owen Benjamin back in 2017 is when I started listening to him. And it was like right at the beginning of the year. I found him through Louder with Crowder, actually. And I went to his channel and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And I was listening to him for a few days, and then all of a sudden I heard him play the Nigger Stole My Bike song. So, and that was still when he was like small enough of a channel where he would like he still had a Facebook, and he would still like answer messages and shit like that, because there wasn't a lot of us that would follow him at the time. I think there was usually about like 90 to 100 of us in the chat at the time. So I sent him a message on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, you know, I just found you through Crowder, and, you know, I think you're really funny, and I was just wondering if that Nigga Stole My Bike song, I was like, that kind of reminds me of that old meme, like, that was out a long time ago where somebody remixed it with Mike Tyson. I was like, is that where you got the inspiration from it? Like, because it reminds me of it. And he, like, stopped replying to it, like, my messages after that. Like, because before that, we went back and forth a few times, and I was like, asking him about, there was something I was asking him about, to like if there was a way to get a hold of him for something, like to download something, and he answered that. And then, like I said, when I brought up the Nigga Stole My Bike thing, then he didn't reply anymore. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't really think anything of it until, like, you know, months later, and then all this crazy shit happened, and I was like, I don't know. But anyways, check this out. I used to play this all the time when I was in high school, because that's why it reminded me of it when I was watching Owen, because I used to play this dumbass song all the time in high school. Me and my boyfriend would sing it randomly, and my friends all sang this song because we were a bunch of racist assholes. Not really racist, just we enjoy racial humor.
Nigga stole my bike. Nigga stole my bike.
You found him by searching nigger.
Nigga stole my bike. Nigga stole my bike.
And if you look on here, this isn't even the original. And right here, this is posted in 2007. And this isn't even the first one, because the first one wasn't on YouTube. It was on one of those other sites, like, before YouTube came out. So, yeah.
Stole my bike. Nigga stole my bike. Nigga stole my bike. Nigga stole my.
That nigger stole that meme.
Internationally, and I don't lie about that, known musical team. You may know them. They're a duo.
I fucking loved this song.
On iTunes.
This song that you're about to see, so this came out when I was in high school, and all the emo kids started coming out and getting popular, and yeah, so Adam and Andrew came out with this song called the Emo Kid Song, and I actually found a live version of it, so I thought I'd play this instead of the video, so check this out.
They're on MySpace, they've been on the radio, they've been on TV. They are fantastic, and we are so proud to host them. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to Adam and Andrew!
The melanin-enriched person took my bike without asking.
Hi.
That's amazing.
Sounds good. It is great to be hosting Saturday Night Live.
We're practicing for future.
Yeah, for future.
This is from
so we are
December
Adam
and Andrew.
2nd,
we are
2006.
a musical comedy duo. We were the #1 comedy band on MySpace until some guy dressed up like a girl and wrote a song about shoes.
Yeah. We can't compete against that.
No, it's
impossible.
Well, the thing is, like,
Alan,
he likes
emoji
shoes
kids.
and then he's not into shoes, but then it comes back, you have to look
And then
for
someone
it.
says she has too many shoes, and that just caused a whole big thing.
Yeah,
That shoe
we
song.
don't want to give too much away.
If you ever see, you guys ever see the shoe song? I don't want to play it because I know it'll get popped for copyright. But was it from some bitch named Kelly? It's a dude dressed up as a chick, but it was a song about shoes, and it was just really funny. Like, let's get some shoes. Let me borrow that top.
You guys got it. They're #1 for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, you may have heard of us. There's lots of places you could have heard of us. You could have heard of us on the internet, or from a friend who heard of us on the internet.
Yeah.
Did I say internet?
No. You didn't say it enough.
Yeah.
84 is the date. Penthouse
Yeah, we're
Party was
basically
uploaded.
internet celebrities. It's not really a big deal. If you want to know the difference between an internet celebrity and an actual celebrity, there's basically two. One, you don't have any money, and two, no one knows who the hell you are.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, exact same except for that.
Yeah, I didn't show up. I was so hungry all the time.
Yeah, I wish I
What
could
the
afford
fuck else
meals.
am I supposed
Yeah,
to put? I gotta make sure I get all the gays
Yeah.
out of me.
So, but at least, you know, we're here tonight for you guys.
Because Saucin makes
so you
me
can
feel
say
a
that
type
you
of
saw
way,
us
so I
before we
gotta,
got
you know,
famous, and we're all
bubble
over
that
the
turf
news,
and
you
get
know,
it all
for
out.
touching some kid or something.
And on that note, I'm gonna go grab a soda.
Yeah, I mean, you could work hard.
Whichever
Sure, there's
comes
that.
first.
I mean, I was gonna take the easy route.
Oh, yeah, well.
The kid's financially set for life.
That's a good point.
So it's a win-win.
You have to give him pay, yeah.
Yeah, I like to open every show with a pedophile joke. So, so the audience is extremely uncomfortable.
It's a good icebreaker.
Thank you, yeah.
It's really good.
Hi, I'm Andrew, I touch kids. Yeah, no, it's right to the core.
Okay, so our first song is going to be our internet hit, if you can call it that. It's called Emo Kid.
I know that Coke is
if
woke,
you don't know
but
what
I
emo
like
kids
Coke.
are,
I
they're
don't like
basically, they're
Pepsi.
kind of like goths,
I'm
a
gonna
little
start
bit
buying
more
Mountain
feminine,
Dew
I would
next
say.
shopping trip.
They listen to music like My Chemical
Mountain
Romance,
Dew me,
The
baby.
Used, the girls that wear the really tight blue jeans, black eyeliner, nail polish. The guys that wear the really tight blue jeans, black eyeliner, nail polish. But we're going to have a video that we're going to be playing while we sing this song. You might have seen it on Norway TV.
Yeah,
anyone go to Norway?
Yeah.
I think we had a
I don't know what kind of weed I have. I have whatever came in the place.
So yeah, so we can just turn off the lights.
You heard my name. You heard your name from across the room.
Fire up that video.
Gay from our brew.
Dear diary, mood apathetic. A life is spiraling downward. I couldn't get enough money to go to the Blood Red Romance and Suffocate Me Dry concert. It sucks because they play some of my favorite songs like Stab My Heart Because I Love You and Rip Apart My Soul and of course Stabby Rip Stab Stab. And it doesn't help that I can't get my hair to that flipping thing either. Like the lead singer of that band would do. Some days, you know.
I'm an emo kid, non-conforming as can be. You'd be non-conforming too if you look just like me. I have paint on my nails and makeup on my face. I'm almost emo enough to start shaving my legs, cause I feel real deep when I'm dressing in drag. I call it freedom of expression, most just would call me a fag. But our dudes look like chicks, and our chicks look like dykes, cause emo is one step below transvestite. Stop my picking and slit my throat. I must be emo, I don't jump around when I go to shows. I must be emo. I'm dark and sensitive with low self-esteem. The way I dress makes every day feel like Halloween. I have no real problems, but I like to make believe. I stole my sister's mascara and I'm grounded for a week. Sulking and writing poetry are my hobbies. I can't get through a Hawthorne Heights album without sobbing. Girls keep breaking up with me. It's never any fun. They say they already have a pussy. They don't need another one. Stop my running and slit my throat. I must be emo. I don't jump around when I go to shows.
I actually put that in my dating profile for a while when I was trying online dating, the horrors of fucking online dating. I'd put in there, I already have a pussy, I don't need another one. No, so soy boys need not apply. Yeah. Dating sucks. Anyways.
I must be emo. I got dye in my hair and polish on my toes. I must be emo. I play guitar and write suicide notes. I must be emo.
My life is just a black abyss, you know? It's so dark. And it's suffocating me. Grabbing a hold of me and tightening its grip. Tighter than a pair of my little sister's jeans. Which look great on me, by the way.
When I get depressed, I'll cut my wrist in every direction. Hearing songs about getting dumped give me an erection. I'll write in a live journal and wear thick-rimmed glasses. I tell my friends I bleed black and cry during classes. I'm just a bad, cheap imitation of goth who can be catcher in the ride and watch me jack off. I wear skin-tight clothes while hating my life. If I said I like girls, I'd only be half right. I look like a dead man, just like a homo. I must be emo. Screw Xbox, I'll play old school Nintendo. I must be emo. I like to whine and hit my parentals. I must be emo. Me and my friends all look like clones. I love you, Mom and Dad, they're here.
My life is just a black. Oh my god, my parents just don't get me. They think I'm gay just because they saw me kiss a guy. Well, a couple guys. But I mean, it's the 2000s. Can't 2 or 4 dudes make out with each other without being gay? I think so. I mean, chicks do that kind of thing anyway. I don't know, Diary. Sometimes I think you're the only one that gets me. You're my best friend. I feel like tacos.
That's good shit. And see, and that song is so true. I went to one emo show when I was in high school. My friend Jessica was like super into emo music and all that shit. So she's like, "Oh, if I pay for the tickets, will you come to this show with me?" And I was like, "All right, fine. It's a free show." It was like Matchbook Romance, Motion City Soundtrack, and a couple other bands. I think From Autumn to Ashes was there, and they were probably like the most like hardcore sounding music that they had, and then some other whiny ass fucking band. And I had never been to an emo show. Like, I had only gone to like heavy metal shows and punk shows where everybody's like fucking moshing and slamming into each other and fucking smoking weed and being crazy. So we get to the show, and legit, it's like nobody's moshing, nobody's jumping around. It's like you're just standing there being sad, listening to this fucking music. Like, there was legit people sitting by the fucking bathroom on the floor, like looking all sad, crying and shit. And I'm like, bro, I feel like I'm like, the stereotype is real. I didn't realize that it was like that real until I walked in there. I was like, this is the gayest shit I've ever fucking seen. Like, don't ever ask me to come to an emo show ever again. Please. Like, you could pay for it. I don't care. I'm not going, because that was the lamest show I've ever been to. Like, the music was all right, but just like, it wasn't fun. Like, who the fuck wants to just stand there and be fucking sad at the show? Like, and there was at one point where we ran into some people that we knew, and like one of them he was like into punk and stuff too, like I was. So me, him, and my friend, like, we started like pushing each other around and stuff, trying to like create our own little mosh pit, and everybody just fucking backed away from us. Like, dude, like, come on, have fun. And like, nobody wanted to be a part of it. I was like, all right, you guys can go be gay all you want, that's fine, and we'll have fun. Anyways, I'm missing the chat. You had a Tinder once. I'm better than you. That totally sounds like something Alan would say. I'm driving to your house right now, bitch. Sounds like a Linkin Park concert. Yeah, see, I loved Linkin Park's first couple albums. Like, Hybrid Theory, still to this day, is one of my all-time favorite albums. But I never got to see them live, so I don't know what their shows were like. So this next video I got is an interview with the Cottonmouth Kings. So like towards the end of my high school years, I started getting into Cottonmouth Kings and stuff like that, like stoner rap, and wanting to be a stoner rapper. And yeah, there was a lot of crazy shit happened back then. But yeah, so Cottonmouth Kings was like still one of my favorite bands, like up until like their Cloud 9 album, I'd say, because like after Dirtball joined, and I didn't really like Dirtball, and their music started changing like a lot, and yeah, but it looks like Johnny Richter and D-Loc are getting back together and starting to do some pretty decent sounding shit. I've heard, from what I've listened to so far of it, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but I actually have a tattoo here. One of my favorite songs from them was Peace of Mind, and they were like super big with SRH, which is Stoners Wreaking Havoc. It was like a alternative like clothing company or whatever the fuck. They like sold stuff for like surfers and skateboarders and shit like that. So part of the tattoo for the O for of, I have the spade for the SRH spade. Yeah, and Cottonmouth Kings, I've seen them 3 times live, and definitely always a great fucking show. Like, always a fun time, and yeah, good people. And we're gonna watch this interview and smoke some more weed.
Live by Cottonmouth Kings, and we caught them on their tour right here in Blues in Las Vegas and 4th of July weekend. We're going to show you that interview right now, and parents, be advised.
Yeah, I wasn't like super into ska music. Like I liked some of it. A lot of the people I hung out with were like super into ska, and like they would fucking blast. Everybody carried like portable CD players and the headphones, and everybody had their fucking CD player on full blast, and we'd walk around with our headphones around our neck, like as pretending they were speakers, like. So a lot of them would like be blasting their fucking ska music in the hallway before class and playing hacky sack and shit like that. And I didn't mind it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to ska music. Oh shit, you went to Dark Lotus? Nice. Yeah, KMK is, I fucking love seeing them live. I went to the last time that I seen them, they opened, or they didn't open for, it was KMK and ICP, like, they both headlined the show, and, I got so fucked up before ICP came out that I didn't even get to see them. Like, KMK came out, I think Necro was there, Coolio played, and, I remember getting so fucked up. I was in the Eagles ballroom at the rave, and it's this huge, like, circle fucking room. Don't ever go to a rap show in the ballroom. For some reason, it just, like, echoes and sounds like shit in that room. But it's KMK, so I didn't care. I was like, anytime they come, I'll fucking go see them, because it's always a good time. So we were upstairs, and I got so fucked up. Like, I had a whole bunch to drink, and I was smoking, and then I used to, like, I smoked cigarettes back then, so I'd like take all the tobacco out of my cigarettes and pack it with weed, and then put like a little bit of tobacco at the top just so it would look like a cigarette if they actually checked it, but they never did. And I'd just like stick them back into my cigarette pack, because we could actually smoke inside back then. That's how fucking old I am. I don't even smoke anymore, but I miss being like walking into a building and like, oh, the smoke smell. Like, I smell people's cigarettes and it just smells so good. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. So I got so fucked up that I remember like trying to come down the stairs to come down to like where the ground level was, where the stage and everything was. And like, it took me like 10 minutes to get down the stairs because I was so fucked up and my legs felt like they were rubber and shit. So I'm like holding onto the railing and going as slow as I can down these stairs. And then we get downstairs and then we're still like partying and shit. I smoke some more, get even more fucked up, and then KMK is over, we're waiting for ICP, and I just got to the point where I'm like, dude, I can't even like stand anymore. So everybody's like, we don't even care if we see ICP anyway, so let's just go. So we're outside waiting for the cab to pick us up, and I'm laying on Wisconsin Avenue on the sidewalk. And this is like a really shitty area of Milwaukee, like this is north side fucking hood. And I'm laying on the fucking sidewalk. It's like 10 o'clock. No, it's probably like 9:30 at night. And we're waiting for the cab. And this fucking black lady, like, I had my eyes closed, but I can hear everything going on around me. And this old black lady comes up and she's like, oh, who are you guys here to see? And my friend goes, we're here to see ICP. And then I hear the lady go, oh shit, y'all them devil worshippers. And like starts yelling and shit. And apparently, like, they told me after, like, the next day what happened. Like, she's yelling all this shit at us, and as she's yelling it, she's walking backwards into fucking Wisconsin Avenue and just standing in the middle of the road yelling and screaming at us and shit that we were devil worshippers because we're there to see the Insane Clown Posse. It was funny. So yeah, all right, let's get back to this interview.
This is an advisory. There's no censorship on this, and we're not going to edit anything. We're going to show it just the way the wild, crazy, and wacky video went with Cottonmouth Kings backstage in the green room.
And from what I hear, like, my friend used to go to their shows every time they'd come here, and I don't know if it's just in Milwaukee or if it's everywhere, but they only do diet root beer here. Like, they always spray everybody with diet root beer, and it pisses her off, so I don't know what they spray in other cities. Let me know in the comments, whatever, because it'd be interesting to know.
Welcome to Night Beat in Las Vegas.
And that's, dude, Taxman. If you guys don't know about Corporate Avenger, that was another band I was like super into in 8th grade. Taxman, this dude with like the spikes and the white face and shit all the way on the right side. he was in Corporate Adventure, and then he was also part of Cottonmouth Kings. He was kind of like their hype man.
Vegas rock and roll review with my homeboys, the Cottonmouth Kings. Say hi to your friends in Las Vegas, guys.
What's up, Vegas? Sin City, 24 hours.
Let me tell you, we were the first in the country, if not in the world, to break Cottonmouth Kings with
Rancid
Dog's Life.
Bob. I like Rancid.
I'm John Dote. As you know, we bring you the biggest hits of today and tomorrow right here from UPN Channel 25. And I got to admit, when our first show, our show first kicked off, Capitol Records laid this group on me, and they said, John, tell me what you think of these guys. I saw a great video and a great song, man. I rolled a big fat one, and I was doing great, and I'm sweating because we got a lot of heat. Tell me, what's your name?
Yeah, I'm Dog
I love
Boy
this
from
vest that this dude has on with the fucking piano and shit, bro. That's dope.
Rude and Cottonmouth Kings crew.
All right, and I checked out your video, man. You got like a lot of dynamics, a lot of action. You swing, and I really love your image. How long you been with Cottonmouth Kings?
A couple years now. That was the first thing I collaborated on Royal Highness. I collaborated on a song called Discombobulated, and then of course Dog's Life, and then we made that video.
And tell me something. How long have you guys been together, and where are you from?
I'm from Placentia, Orange County, California.
Oh my God,
you know
Johnny
what I mean? We've been
Richter
together
sounds
since
so
about
little.
the end of '95, beginning of '96. This group's been together. You know what I mean?
Did you see that Cottonmouth treatment I got? and
I love Johnny
and tell me,
Richter.
bro,
He's got some good rhymes.
Come on into the picture, because you're awesome looking, man. And peace. What's your name? Tell your
if you
friends
guys
out
don't
there.
know Saint Dog from the Cottonmouth Kings, he was one of the original members. He just passed away recently. And then Pakolika passed away a couple years ago.
Axman here to bring you the truth, only but the truth.
The whole truth, nothing but the truth, right?
That's right.
All right, and you watch UPN Channel 25 Night Beat in Las Vegas?
Chain of the Truth.
You're the chain of the truth. Chain of the truth. All right, chain of the truth, Cottonmouth Kings. All right, step in. We got some more chain action going on here. I love this. This is like Halloween and Happy Mother's Day.
And you can see Daddy X, the dude with the blonde spikes. He's got the Corporate Avenger shirt on. I still have mine. I used to wear it to high school, and the back of it has Christians murdered Indians on it, and like the visuals of Christians like slamming Indian babies' heads against rocks and shit. I used to wear that to school, and like I didn't get in trouble. Nobody said shit. But I remember one day, like, I was sitting in the lunchroom, and the administrator comes up, and he's like, "What the hell is that on your shirt?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's from a song. Check this out." And like, we gave him the headphones, and he's just sitting there listening to it, like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah. So let's get back to this.
July all rolled up into one. This is 4th of July weekend. We are House of Blues. Lenny Mancuso's in the house. Want to say hi to the manager also. What's your name, bro?
I am the
I don't
Corporate
know a lot
Avenger,
of
here to
Alkaline
remind you.
Trio songs, but like I remember listening to them. Like I think I had a couple of compilation albums. I used to go to Hot Topic and buy like punk compilations, and I remember that was on there, and like Rise Against, The Casualties, Clit 45. It was some like chick band. I don't know. There was a lot of good like punk compilations that they used to sell at Hot Topic before they were gay.
You have your sacred nature here to remind you.
Like back, I remember in high school, like me and my friends used to hang out at the mall, and we go to Hot Topic, and like we had big trip pants and shit like that. And her cousins came to the mall with us one day, and they were from like the suburban area, and they were like so terrified of Hot Topic that they were outside of the store like pushing each other, trying to like push each other into the store like as a joke because they were so scared to go into it. It's like that's how I remember Hot Topic being, and it sucks going in there now. It's just so like bright and just so full of like superhero shit and comic book shit and all this like non-dark shit anymore. Like we need to open a store somewhere that's like an old Hot Topic type store. It'd be great. Like all like metal stuff and punk stuff. Like none of this fucking pop culture bullshit.
You are a sacred being of light projected into reality for a purpose. Demand your right to your holographic gift with no rules, no borders except for those you choose to accept and live by. Peace, not greed.
All right. Now listen, I also got a copy. Come on in, bro. I want to talk to you too. because you're one of the major stars. I mean, I loved your image. Now listen. I did Dog's Life, okay?
Yeah.
Now tell me what those words are. I'm not in the yard and I got fleas, or I got fleas and I'm out in the yard.
That's Dog Boy's lyric right there. Dog Boy.
Yeah, it goes something like this.
my
It goes,
bad,
the life I
that's
lead
Daddy
is the
X.
life
The
of
other
a
dude kinda
dog. I
looked
may
like
have
him.
fleas, but I run my yard. In other words, actually I said I run I yard. In other words, what that means is I may be a dirty dog and, not be like the pretty boy, but I live as I please, and that's the key to my freedom. Somewhat.
That's fantastic, man. I love these guys, really. And hey, man, you might have to come in. Watch the cables, guys. Take a look at this guy right here. You might have to stoop down a little bit. You might have to
It's
stoop
cool
down
as fuck
so the
watching
camera can see you.
Paco like do his fucking robotic dances and shit.
The Undertaker ain't got nothing over you, brother. So
He's like
do
a
you
hype
say
man
anything?
for the band.
Can we get you to say anything?
Excuse me, I got the replica put in.
About all he's got to say right
Fuck yeah, Flat Earth. Some
You're
41
watching
is
UPN,
amazing.
Night Beat in Las Vegas with John
I
Dote
used
rocking.
So funny thing, like when Sum 41 was kind of popular and stuff, my sister-in-law and my brother, they're like, 9-10 years older than me. So when Sum 41 came out, like my sister-in-law and shit, she was already like older. I was like younger, so I'm like, oh, this is great new music, and she just kept telling me, oh, they're exactly like Blink-182. They sound the same. There's no difference. And it's like, I would get so mad. Like, how do you not hear the difference in it? Like, they sound completely different. Like, yes, they're both considered pop punk, but I don't know, their styles, everything was completely different. And I fucking love Sum 41. I wish I would have gotten to see them live, but maybe in the future. I don't know if they're still touring or not. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, Tech Nine does put on a good show. I don't like Tech Nine's music, personally. Like, I dated a guy a couple years ago who was, like, fucking balls deep into Tech Nine. Like, he would probably go gay for Tech Nine if he had a fucking chance to. And so I like, would be at work and I pull up Tech Nine albums and I'd sit there and like listen to song after song, like trying to find songs that I like so I can like at least make a playlist of like, okay, here's some Tech Nine songs that I actually like so we could listen to them together when we're driving around or whatever. But it's like, I don't know, that fucking how he does the cha sound between every fucking line with the, rap one line, cha, rap another line, cha, rap another line, cha. Like, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, if he took those stupid chas out, that would help a little bit. And then also, like, I don't know. He can rap fast as fuck and all that shit. It's just not my taste. It's not my cup of tea. And he puts on a great fucking show. I really enjoyed seeing him perform live. I saw him with Ritz back in, like, 2016, I think. Ritz was really good live, too. He actually started singing I'd Do Anything for Love from Meatloaf. And, like, all these people in the crowd are, like, looking around like, what the fuck is he singing? I was like, man, you guys make me feel old. But yeah, Tech Nine is really good live. I would see him again live. I just don't go out of my way to listen to his music. Yeah, the cha. I fucking hate that shit. I fucking hate it so much. Like, his very, very first album, it's like something with clouds or some shit. Like, the cloud, something Calm Before the Storm, something like that. I don't think he does the cha at all in that album. And I like that album. I can listen to that. And it's more of like a gangster sounding album too, I think. That's probably why I like it, because I like gangster rap. But yeah, I don't know. So back to the rest of this interview.
Roll review, and we want to talk to another bro here from Cottonmouth Kings. Come on in. Tell us, what's your name?
DJ Bobby B.
And what do you do in the group?
Of course, make some beats and DJ.
All right. Do any of you guys play instruments?
Well, of course, man. Turntables, drums.
Right on, man. Right on. We're going to get to see your show tonight. And Night Beat in Las Vegas is going to get to have the luxury of going backstage with these giants on Capitol Records. And I got another question for you.
He has like spinners on his drum set and shit.
Scare the hell out of me. The Undertaker ain't got nothing on this guy. But listen, your new video, what's it called? Because I just got it in the mail and I already busted it on UPN.
Peace Not Greed.
That's right. Peace
Not Greed from our second album, High Society, featuring punk legend Jack Grisham from TSOL, The True Sounds of Liberty.
Tormented. that CD. What fucking CD is Tormented on? I like that CD. It had Suicidal something. Is it Suicidal Thoughts or Suicide Letter? Whatever the fuck. That song was on it. And Einstein Tech 9. So basically that album and the one before that, I can do those two. But after that, it's kind of like, eh.
Original punk bands started the whole movement. TSOL, Jack Grisham's out singing legendary lyrics from Abolish Government and Peace Through Power. Original punk songs from lyrics he wrote back in like 81 and 82, and he's re-bringing them out onto this song, Peace Not Greed. The video's out now. The album's out now. Came out. Everything's popping off. The new album, new video will be coming at you soon.
Okay, now I got a question for you. For new up-and-coming groups that are not signed to the major record companies, can you tell them how you did it and give them some tips on how to get started in the music business and be successful like you guys are?
Don't ever quit it. Stay true in what you do. Believe in yourself.
And just notebook full of rhymes.
Just keep doing it. Never stop. Idle minds don't get nothing done. Bottom line. Keep your mind going.
Beautiful. This is my favorite group on Capitol Records, the Cottonmouth Kings.
Wait, Suburban Noise Records. Get that straight. Suburban Noise Records.
And it is my pleasure to interview these guys. You will see this interview on UPN Channel 25 Thursday at 5 a.m. You're watching Night Beat in Las Vegas with John Dote. Rock and Roll Review. Take it away, guys. Take it away. Go ahead. Do your thing. Take it away.
Hey, when I'm in Vegas, I'm always having a wake listening to the Night Beat.
View the way it went down with the Cottonmouth Kings, a real wild and bunch of crazy guys, but they're really great, talented, and they really rock the house. In fact, they got a standing ovation there. I was there backstage. And right now we're going to take you to their new video from the album High Society.
Yeah, Head PE is pretty good. I never got to see them live, but I like some of their music. So this next interview that I have, around like 2007, I discovered this guy on YouTube. I think it was on YouTube that I found him, and his name was Muck Sticky. And it was just this ridiculous stoner fucking dude from Memphis, Tennessee. This like hillbilly ass dude making silly rap songs, and it was amazing. And like he made these crazy fucking videos too. So if you guys ever have a chance, go check out some Muck Sticky. Like his old videos, like Nice to Meet You, I think is the first one I saw, and I was like, this is so creepy and weird and awesome. And I fucking fell in love with Muck Sticky. So here's an interview with him.
Gomez here with Win Radio. Guys, I'm here at beautiful Shelby Farms live at Mempho Fest with legendary Muck Sticky. How you doing, Muck?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Good to see you. I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. Guys, we need you to come out here. We got legends over here. Muck, I heard you had a movie coming out. Tell me about it.
Man, I did. I had a movie just come out recently. It's called Dig That, Zebo Newton. It's a quirky little movie. We made it here in beautiful Memphis. A lot of cool Memphians in it. Jerry Lawler's our...
I just want to say it's funny to see that I'm not the only one who sticks pens and shit in the fucking gauges of my ears. I do that shit. It freaks people out. It's funny.
Sheriff, Al Capone, who played yesterday on the stage over here. I joined him on stage. We got Fraser Boys in it, Lil White, Wayne Sweeney from Saliva. Tons of amazing Memphians.
Who are you looking forward to seeing tonight?
Man, there are a lot of good bands. I've been enjoying the Barcades just here recently. They're playing right now. Right. Looking forward to seeing my homie Post Malone. You know, saw him at Memphis in May earlier this year. Super cool guy. Yeah, okay. Really excited about that show. Nas is going to put on a great show.
Awesome. Guys, like I said, come out here. We're here with Muck Sticky. Come and check us out, guys. And Andrew, our boy, y'all, it's going to be a great night. Post Malone and Nas, come and check us out.
It's Mempho Fest, baby, like you've never seen it before. Peace.
Yeah, Muck Sticky is good shit. You guys gotta check him out sometime. All right, so another, like, I haven't like really gotten into a ton of newer artists over the past, like, I'd say from like 2007 through 2015-ish. I didn't really listen to a lot of new music. I actually listened to a lot of talk radio during that time. I'd listen to like Rush Limbaugh and shit at work because I was working all the time, and I had a AM/FM cassette player, so I just listened to that at work. So yeah, around like 2015, 2016, I started listening to Hobson, and I really like Hobson. If you guys don't know Hobson, you guys should check him out. His Ill Mind 5, I think, was probably the first song I heard from him, and I was like, this is really cool, you know, this dude's doing some different shit. And then that's how I also found other artists like Dizzy Wright. Dizzy Wright's really good. And there was a couple other ones I can't think. Mayday, I found them through Hobson. So here's this interview of just like rappers talking about Hobson. It was just a cool interview I found.
Who doesn't love, you know, some fun, hard-hitting 808s and some hi-hats and some, like, turn-up fun shit, you know? It's kind of like what Hobson did. You remember when Hobson did the, I forget.
I agree, Alan.
Like, where he's kind of, like, doing the, I don't know, he's just saying, he's like, all you guys, I can't even understand what you're saying.
This new album.
There are some good artists out there. It's just really hard to find them.
No Words.
No Words.
Yeah.
He came to my house and played that song for me. And I was like, this is kind of tight, though.
Man, it's crazy to have you in here. Let me guess. Did you find out about the podcast when Hobson came on?
No.
Oh, okay. Because he just recently did it, and we talked about you, and I thought that might have been...
what did he say?
Just all respect and love, you know?
I'm like his psychiatrist. I need to call him because 2 days ago, a fan told me, you need to check in with Hobson. He's having a bad time. And I'm like, I usually know, but I've been so busy, so...
Really?
Yeah, I got to call him and see what's wrong.
He seemed like he was in pretty good space when we had our conversation, but I thought it was like really like a better example of like one of my better interviews in the sense that he was just being like really, really honest about like how strange it really is to be in the position that he is with having such a, you know, a different type of fan base and, you know, fans being so fickle and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then he put it out, and it's like he's essentially kind of, you know, poking fun at like, you know, Hobson. He has a fun time. And everybody was like, this shit is crazy. Like, that's the funny thing. It's just a sound, you know what I mean? And like Hobson, I've talked to him and shit, like he just has fun with his shit. I used to think he was like super serious with like, I never knew. I was like, man, I don't like blah, blah, blah. But then actually having a conversation with him, like pretty much everybody he goes at, he actually has a lot of respect for them as rappers and what they do, which is really awesome.
He's been going through a lot, you know what I'm saying, with Funk Volume and now Undercover Prodigy, you know what I'm saying? I wish him the best, man. I've been following him since The Purge, you know what I'm saying, on his new music, man, Witch Doctor, everything, man. I always push him up, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, you guys are very similar-minded in a lot of ways. You guys have a lot of the same like values or aesthetic choices when it comes to the music.
Hobson is strange, no doubt about it.
He is. He's strange even if he's not strange music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was almost strange music, but he started his own, and that's noble.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Last time I talked to Hobson, we talked about his faith a lot. When you guys get together, is that something you guys talk about, or what kind of stuff do you talk about when you're on tour with the Funk Volume crew and you're not on stage?
I don't think we've ever talked about like faith or anything like that. Usually most of the time we're just joking around and laughing and like, but Hop is the sober one out the group, out of Funk Volume.
Have to get to make you stop going to college. He said it's not about that, it's a lie. Didn't you tour with Hobson? Why do you hate him now? He just makes bad music.
I have lots of respect for Hop. Like, I don't smoke in Hop face, you know. I just have a lot of respect for him, you know. But he got a lot of respect for me too, you know. So I'm usually like I'm usually smoking and preparing and getting ready and doing my thing. So I be with my boy Mosky Mo and we be ducked off until it's time to do what we do. And most of the time when I see Hop, I just probably talk about him, his outfit or something.
Where does a Decatur nigga meet Hobson at, man?
Let me tell you, I had a song called Schizo. I put it out on the net. The shit got like a lot of love. A lot of people was fucking with it. And a mutual fan of me and Hobson saw it. And they posted it on Hobson's Facebook page. He checked this shit out. He fucked with it heavy. Him and Dame reached out to me, you know, via email. And we kind of established a relationship. And I don't know, man. Well, I guess we just kept in contact with each other.
But it's usually just always good vibes.
Does each member of Funk Volume kind of have like their own thing that they do when they're not performing?
Well, I mean, besides Hop, I mean, we all turn up. I mean, you know, Hop turns up too, but he has a different kind of way of turning up. I don't know what the fuck turns him up. He just be turned up all the time.
But I always kept in contact with Dame and Hobson, man, and fucking, they were just cool-ass motherfuckers, man. I would come to certain shows, and we just established a relationship, got cool, and we was like, fuck it, man. It only makes sense, you know. I'm fucking with their movement. They fucking with mine. Let's make it happen. And there you go.
Damn, man.
All right, so another band that I found a couple years ago was King 810. It's like it's a heavy metal band, but it's like gangster rap, heavy metal, fucking angry, amazing shit from Flint, Michigan. And yeah, if you guys haven't heard of them and you enjoy heavy metal and stuff like that, you might want to check them out. So we're gonna check out this video. This is actually this was like a newscast that they did on them. I used to work at a online bondage store, and that's when I was working there is when I discovered them. So a good chunk of time when I was working there, I would be walking around picking orders and jamming out to this fucking amazing music.
We have breaking news out of Flint this morning.
There's been a double shooting at a nightclub. That horrifying discovery inside a Flint apartment this morning. 3 people, including a young boy, had been shot. All 3 are dead.
So the 2 men Flint police believe robbed and killed a store clerk on Sunday.
But they do believe it to be a homicide, and again, it would be Flint's 66th homicide of the year. That would tie the record set in 2010.
These are the kind of headlines that dominate the news
Local
here.
H also has
This
a black guy in
is
their
Flint,
band.
Michigan. Another Rust Belt city built during a different time. A time of economic growth, industrial might, and boundless optimism. A sprawling
brains.
mini metropolis with a vibrant urban center and tree-lined neighborhood streets.
It looks like an ordinary day in the USA, but in the city of Flint, Michigan, all is excitement. Oh, this is a day. The whole town's a bustle. Yes, sirree, there's going to be a parade, too.
There were churches, nice schools, and small, thriving businesses everywhere. All of this growth was fueled by the booming auto industry. They were turning out Buicks and Chevys here like there was no tomorrow. Just a few decades ago, this city seemed like it had a really bright future. This is Flint, Michigan today. No longer a city of booming businesses and neatly trimmed lawns. Not a city of thriving factories, secure jobs, or bright futures. Not a city of economic prosperity or close-knit communities. By some people's account, it's barely a city at all. It's changed a lot, hasn't it?
Oh, it has changed quite a bit. You know, it has. You know, it's the economy that went down. You know, there are not a lot of jobs. Crime rate is up. You know, it's kind of like a really sad situation around here now.
Businesses have closed or moved out. Factories are shuttered. Buildings have burned and people have moved elsewhere. They're seeking a brighter future than what Flint can offer, but something remains. Desperation and the extreme measures that desperation drives people to. Today, Flint, Michigan is a city on the verge of collapse. The population here has dropped to 100,000, half of what it was at its peak in 1960. And then there's the rampant crime. Flint is 1/15 the size of Chicago, but its per capita murder rate is 4 times higher. Flint's pothole-filled streets are strewn with trash. Neighborhoods are dotted with burned-out buildings. Storefronts are shuttered, and residents are angry.
It's gone downhill so bad it ain't even funny. It's time to leave and there ain't no way out. You know, properties have gone down. You can't even afford to sell them for what they're worth, let alone get yourself out of here.
Desperation has become a way of life for the people of Flint. Drugs, addiction, theft, vandalism, and other crimes have taken root here.
When you put all your eggs in one basket like GM did, and once they started pulling out, that's the only thing that can happen. You know, unemployment, crime rise.
The New York Times called Flint America's murder capital. It's also been cited as the second most violent city in the United States. What's left of local law enforcement, only 1 cop for every 1,000 residents, seems powerless to stop the rampant crime and violence. And when people lose hope and the cops lose control, something else takes over. This is the sound of Flint, a hard-driving sound with lyrics that have been described as raw, violent, and even wrong. This sound describes what happens when there's almost nothing left, when human beings have to fight to survive, when it seems there's no way out, and every man and woman is in it for themselves. The music is violent, and it draws violence to it. Shootings, stabbings, beatings, and full-scale riots. It's a sound that's seeping out of bars, rental halls, basements, and dingy storefronts into the ears of young people in Flint and beyond. The raw, violent sound is spreading, bringing violence and mayhem in its wake. Maybe to your town, maybe to your kids. Our story is just beginning.
Dun, dun, dun.
Up next, we take a hard look at the razor-edged sound of Flint and the die-hard fans and followers who are transforming it from music into an unpredictable social force. This is the sound of a city's rage, the blunt, uncompromising sound that has captivated a growing number of young people in Flint. The music is drawing more and more attention in a wider and wider region. The disaffected, the angry, the disenfranchised seem hopelessly drawn to these chaotic concerts.
I've seen Slayer
Too often,
pits like
violence
that too.
and mayhem come along for the ride.
Flint City 911. Yeah, I need the police at Aloha Lounge on Dora Highway. They had a band going and there's a riot breaking out.
An earlier show at the ironically named Aloha Lounge descended into open warfare. Police responded to frantic reports of 50 people fighting with 2x4s, cinder blocks, and any other weapons they could get their mitts on.
Holy shit.
They're using 2x4s? Those 2x4s sunken concrete. It's bad. Okay. Did you please send somebody? Okay, we're going to get someone over there. There's about how many people are out there? There's about 50 people trying to riot out in the back.
Promoter Marcus Elder was here when it all went down.
I was fighting with 5 people. Speakers are getting kicked in, cash registers are getting tossed, cops showed up, riot patrol showed up, and it was the worst thing I ever seen. And they stopped the show and they said, there's more of us and there's more of you. You turn us off one more time, we're gonna tear this place up. And that's exactly what they did. Our security was, we was beating people up, we was getting beat up. Time we got done, I was in blood. They have a following, they're like a cult. And they're good at what they do, but I think they're trying to deliver the wrong message to people.
Of course, outrageous behavior by both performers and fans is nothing new in the world of rock and roll. The Rolling Stones' tragic performance at Altamont, Ozzy Osbourne biting the heads off bats. There's the fatal blood feud between Tupac and the notorious B.I.G. that left both men dead. If Flint is exporting angry, violent music, one particular band always seems to be in the middle of it all. Wherever King 810 plays, trouble seems to follow. The violence surrounding the mysterious King 810 seemed to know few limits. If there were any limits left, the final line was crossed on a fateful evening in January of 2010. It happened here during a live performance at the Second Generation Grand Ballroom. It's a normally sedate rental hall specializing in weddings and family reunions. As the angry music blared, a fight broke out. A young fan was pummeled, kicked, and dragged out of the place like a rag doll. Once again, the lyrics of urban anger morphed into a disturbing reality. Yet despite the repeated violence and the band's spreading reputation for trouble, the shows go on. The fans still come.
That would happen even
Clearly,
without
something
the
about
fucking
this music is powerful enough to draw people into concerts and into a lifestyle. Matt Dalton is a well-known producer and promoter in the regional metal scene.
Fists are going to be flying. There's going to be people just, relentlessly going at each other. But it's 99% of the time not in hate because they're opting into it. Some of these people want to get hurt that way. And I think there's a gravitation towards the inner pain needing to be felt on the outside as well. I mean, that's why MMA does so well, There's people that want to see the blood, but they're not doing it because there's a general hatred. They're doing it because there's something inside them that needs to get out.
Usually when people fall down,
so
you're
you
supposed
find
to
these
pick them
people
back up.
expressing themselves by beating each other up, but it's in a mutual respect kind of way. If a guy falls on the ground after you just knock the shit out of him, you pick him back up.
Yep.
That's pretty cool to me. You know what I mean? It's like playing football, but you don't have to wear the pads. You don't have to worry about the rules. The only rules are just, respect your neighbor and it's for the love of the music.
Initially, King 810 attracted attention and allegiance of a small group of fans close to home, but it didn't stop there. Something about this sound and about this scene has become a captivating force for an ever-growing band of followers. These fans don't have much money, but they'll scrape together what they can find and spend it to attend these radical King 810 concerts. They'll come to every show, sing along with every song, tattoo the band's name and lyrics on their bodies. They'll stick up for each other in fights and seemingly stop at nothing if they feel that they or their favorite band is under threat. We wanted to find out who these fans are, up close and personal.
The music is so heavy and raw and real that something just switches inside of anybody when they hear it, that it turns them into a madman.
It's not really the band, it's the music gets people so hype that that's just what happens. It's not even them, it's like the people that go to it get raged up with the music.
Are they fans? Is this a gang or a cult? Or all of the above?
I don't think we're a gang or a cult. We're just a bunch of rowdy dudes. We're just, that's the only way I can explain it, is just we're like a family just because we are so close and it's been so long that we've known each other. We're like brothers.
No, it's not a gang at all. No, it's a band.
Blunkin.
It's a family that if
oh my God.
you with, you
This
go get
nigga's name
over.
is
That's how
Blunkin.
we all is.
Man, it can be whatever you want to call it, but what it is a bunch of low motherfuckers who nobody ever wanted. Everyone rode off, and we came together, we found each other, and we live our lives according to that.
And if you talk to those who know the metal scene, some will tell you this band is destined for greatness.
That's one of those bands that just, I mean, I'm surprised that they're not all over the place right now because they're just that good.
When you hear King, it's, it feels like it resets what heavy music is about. It brings it back to, wow, here's a story that really goes with this music. The music is really aggressive and in your face.
But these guys in King, I mean, Dave's been to jail. He's been stabbed. All the guys in that band are just like, they're living in the slum of Flint, for better or for worse, but they're all good guys. They're just trying to survive. But it comes out in their music in such a dark, deep, real way that I'm just surprised that the world hasn't caught on to that yet.
Just who are these guys behind this raw anger and violence? Why all the secrecy and mystery surrounding King 810? Sooner or later, they're bound to step out of the shadows, and when they do, who knows what might happen? They're causing too much commotion. The rumors are too strong. Their movement seems to be growing. We'll keep an eye on this story as it unfolds. No doubt, there's more to come.
Yeah, definitely check out King 810 though. It's really good fucking music. So another artist that I really like that I found not recently, but within the last like 6 or 7 years is Tom McDonald. I'm sure you guys have all heard of him. He just like blew up and was all over Fox News recently for his Fake Woke song. But yeah, I've been following him for a couple years, and this is actually a really old interview I found of his. So let's check this out.
What you gotta do now is just fucking spit a bit of hot fire directly into the lens. Feel free to start whenever you're ready.
And I remember this one time, you're gonna fucking die, bro. I was like in grade 5, and it was Remembrance Day in Canada, and the project for the class was to write a poem about Remembrance Day. So I wrote this poem about Remembrance Day. I handed it in to my teacher. I'll never forget. Her name was Mrs. Limoges, and I thought it was a great poem, and she shit all over it and gave me 7 out of 20 or 3 out of 10 or some ridiculously low grade.
I can send you some of his
I
other
remember I
songs,
brought the
Alan,
poem
that
home
aren't
to my
just
dad,
like
and
his
I showed
political
my
stuff.
dad.
He's got some other good
Dad,
songs.
I wrote this poem about Remembrance Day, and I
Especially
thought
off
it
of
was
his
a really
like
cool,
earlier albums.
piece of literary
Check
work.
out his like
and,
spoken word shit.
I got it back today. I got 7 out of 20. I got 3 out of 10 or whatever it was, and I was really upset about it. And my dad read the poem, and my dad is a very
Yeah,
smart
she is.
dude and
Nova
really
Rockefeller is a
understands
great
literary art, and was just like really fucking offended by the low grade that I got. And, you know, he was like, how fucking dare you, you know,
Did you see
give
Casey's
a
feed on
child
stream
such
earlier?
a low score on
If
a
not,
poem.
you'll have to go back.
Poetry and art in general is subjective. So who the fuck are you to
After
grade
the
it,
stream,
first
you'll
of
have to
all?
go back.
So he was really upset about that. My dad took the poem that I wrote, that I got the low score on, and he gave it to a multi-time published Canadian author who is a poet. And she read it, and she said, you know, Jamie, Thomas wrote something far beyond his years in this poem, and that teacher should be fucking ashamed of herself for grading it the way that she did. And she wrote a big letter to the teacher and sent it to the school and just fucking tore her apart. And my dad made a phone call and said, you know, like, that was an improper thing to do. You should have never treated his art like that. And so the teacher just got fucking totally sunned out, and the poem ended up getting published through that poet.
Bravo.
And which was really cool. So I was...
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I was in like grade 5, man. So I've been writing, period, since probably about grade 4, grade 5. And then it graduated into writing rock songs. I realized I didn't have the voice for rock songs. I started wrestling. And then I got out of wrestling and I needed an outlet for my creative energy. And I got back into writing music. And I didn't write rock songs because I didn't have the voice. So it evolved into rap songs. And here we are.
But yeah, check out, I really like Tom McDonald's first album, like the first earlier albums. I mean, his new stuff's great too, but yeah. So this next artist that I found that I absolutely love, and he's actually become my favorite artist, like, as I've been watching him over the years, and I really like Ryan Upchurch. So, this is just one of his more recent videos I thought was entertaining. It's his opinion on Black Lives Matter. And while we're at it, he actually just had a rap album drop a couple days ago, so go check that out if you haven't already. It's really good. And then a couple months ago, he came out with a country album too that's really good, so check that out.
I'll let Upchurch the Redneck top it off, just for you.
Appreciate you, Jesse Ryan. Black Lives Matter. You're in luck today, because Upchurch has a fucking surprise for you. Let me get it out of my pocket. It ain't much, just a big fuck you! You lazy bastards want the minimum wage to be $15 an hour? Is that how fucking lazy you are? You ain't gonna get off your ass and go work a regular job like everybody else unless you get $15 an hour. Motherfucker, you ain't trying to get no goddamn job anyway. You're in the fucking middle of the street, in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the motherfuckers who are really trying to go to work. You ain't trying to do shit. So let me get this straight. You zoo animal acting motherfuckers want to get off in the street and cause a bunch of shit and destroy your own goddamn city, and you say you don't want to vote for Donald Trump, but you're out in the street saying you want $15 an hour because you ain't got no fucking job? Are you stupid? You know if Donald Trump deports the damn illegals, you will have more jobs, you will have money, and you won't have to ask for $15 an hour because you'll be getting all the goddamn hours you need, you fucking dummy! I mean, come on, it's obvious what Black Lives Matter really is. It's a fucking group that's against being racist who's fucking racist. Okay, so you're apparently not racist, but you want to kill white people. I'm done. I'm so done. And if you think that's bad, have you seen the white people that are all over Facebook talking about, oh my god, I can't believe I'm fucking white. I hate my fucking self. Oh, shut up, you pussy ass cracker. You're just fucking scared to be white. Get out of here, motherfucker. Don't you go Uber a bridge and jump off of it and fucking help all of us. The funniest part of it all is, you see all these people in the street fucking bitching about all this different shit, how they ain't got no fucking job. First off, it's because you ain't fucking trying with your lazy ass. Second off, the fucking dude who started all this shit and made y'all fucking run out here like little fucking gnomes and get in the street and act stupid is sitting back fucking counting Benjamins because he got rich off your ass. I was watching Alex Jones the other day, and one of Alex Jones' reporters went up to a Black Lives Matter protester and asked him, what do you hate about Trump? And you want to know what his reply was?
Because Donald Trump racist against Muslims, bruh.
You uneducated sack of shit. A fucking Muslim is a religion, it ain't skin color. But you know what? While we're on the topic of skin color, let's talk about this thing I ain't never fucking seen before called white privilege. Hey, privilege, somebody please update me, because I thought we all went to the same schools, we got arrested by the same cops, and we all had the same fucking laws to abide by. So please, inform me what in the fuck white privilege is, motherfucker. I mean, seriously, man, what the fuck? What do y'all think white people get treated like? Y'all motherfuckers think I get treated like Prince William or some shit? Walking down the fucking road, having motherfuckers wiping my ass and driving me around everywhere? I mean, come on, dude. Look at my fucking ask them, hey, do white lives matter? They don't answer it. They don't answer the question. They won't say it. They will not say white lives matter. They will not say all lives matter because they said it oppresses the movement of Black Lives Matter. You forgetting about what we doing over here. We matter. We matter more than you do, man. Fuck y'all white people.
Yeah, so there was that. So this is the last video I got for tonight. I've been streaming for over 2 hours already. I will be back again next Sunday for another episode. I'm not sure what it's going to be on yet, so you'll just have to tune in and find out. This is a video of a kid. This was from 2006. It was just some kid playing his guitar and singing Mad World, and I thought it was really good. So, yeah, we're just going to end the stream with this, and I hope everybody enjoyed and have a good night. And if you'd like to support what I do, all the links are down below in the description. And check out Patreon if you want access to exclusive content like Semper telling you to ring, 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 hello, answer your phone. I've got ringtones on there, but you gotta pay for the Patreon subscription, bitches. Alright, later everybody. Enjoy the song.
Around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, and their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, find it hard to take. People run in circles, it's a very, very mad